I spent $500 on Wii software for these. Club Nintendo. Now that's a name I haven't heard in quite a while. It's a name I have a lot of nostalgia for, a name that I really, really miss hearing. Of course, I miss it now, but back during the day, ooh, God, I would shake my fist at them every single chance I would get, mainly because I loved the concept of Club Nintendo, and it was very much proven that Club Nintendo could be something incredible. And in Europe and Japan, it was that. So Club Nintendo was a loyalty program. You'd buy Wii, DS, 3DS, Wii U software, open up the case, there'd be like a slip in there with a code that you'd redeem on Club Nintendo, and you get points for it, or coins in the case of Club Nintendo, and you would exchange those coins for prizes. Sometimes later down the line, they would offer digital games, so you'd be able to get WiiWare, DSiWare, 3DS eShop, Wii U eShop games by, trading in your coins. But the main thing you wanted from it were the physical prizes. And in Europe and Japan, they were incredible. I mean, they got like full-ass Mario Kart trophies. Hell, in Japan, they would have options for you to buy exclusive special editions of the original 3DS. There was this whole series of like Mario-themed designs. But here in North America, we got pencil cases. Hey, we got some cool stuff here and there, but for the most part, we got kind of like, folders, calendars, like patches, Wii Remote wrist straps. I mean, some of those are kind of cool, but that's kind of, for the most part, what Club Nintendo in North America got. And then just as they were starting to do more cool stuff with it, they closed it. They ended Club Nintendo and they introduced a replacement program, My Nintendo. Many people think there are only 7 deadly sins. No, there's 8. What an absolutely horrible program. I mean, when it launched, it was genuinely really bad. Like, the website and all the animations and the design of it was very modern. It looked great. But they didn't have anything. It was pretty much heavily focused on like using your mobile device and playing Nintendo mobile games to get points, and getting those points would then you could get like other items for use in Nintendo's mobile games, and a couple of things for like Wii U and 3DS. Like you could get like 30% off some digital games. It was pretty horrible. Maybe I'll take a look at My Nintendo as a whole eventually. But we're talking some fun stuff today. Let's talk about Club Nintendo. Specifically, my Club Nintendo collection. I went into my closet and found everything that I own that was from Club Nintendo. And I'll specify if I bought these back in the day or earned them back in the day. I received these as rewards for my heroic nature of being a Nintendo fan. And some of these other ones I bought on eBay later on. And this might be something that I might be down to, like every now and then I'll get kind of into buying certain things on eBay where I'm like, oh man, I gotta own all the fucking U-Draw games. So I don't know, maybe I'll go on eBay and check out some other Club Nintendo things, because a lot of these things are pretty damn cool. Some Club Nintendo rewards I still really wanted back in the day and I never got, so I might take a look down memory lane, look at some Club Nintendo prizes that I never was able to get, because this isn't nearly all the ones that I always wanted. There's some that I still don't have, but these are the ones that I currently have. And starting things off, Wii Remote holders. I got these back in the day. I believe these were around like 300 coins, and yep, I already see a stain on these. Beautiful. But yeah, these were designed to hold 4 Wii Remotes each, and they did the job. I would actually use this for all kinds of things, like not only my Wii Remote, but also like TV remotes and all of that. And I used this. This was the first one that I got, the black one, and I used it so much I bought another one. I bought the white one. And looking at it now, I go, Scott, you stupid idiot. Why would you buy 2 Wii Remote holders? There's so much more you could have gotten. But yeah, I got a lot of use out of these back in the day, so that's why I got 2 of them. And these currently reside in my little Wii controller drawer that I have. I have like these felt drawers for all my controllers, and I have the Wii one, and yeah, these still sitting there, and you know, I'll still put my Wii remotes in here from time to time. You know, it's good at, you know, separating them. And that's just the thing, like a lot of Club Nintendo rewards were just more so practical than cool. Take, for example, Nintendo 3DS card cases. I got 2 of these. They actually are supposed to be like specific to a couple of different franchises. This one I believe is like Pikmin and well, we got Mario on the inside. And yeah, Mario, and the Pikmin sleeve. Yeah, so these both came with 3 unique sleeves that you could, you know, choose which one that you want on here. And that's pretty cool. And each sleeve has, you know, a back, so you can choose between 6 different designs, which that's going above and beyond. That's pretty cool. But yeah, I have one of them here, and then I have another one here with a much more basic 3DS design here. And yeah, I don't really use these for a lot of 3DS game cards. I actually put a lot of like my not for resale demo cards in this case, so I have a couple of these, and these don't come with cases, so why not? But yeah, this one comes with a pretty basic 3DS design on the back. It's another basic 3DS design. This one comes with like a little bullet bill design, Boo design, and then Zelda and Zelda. So they definitely went a lot harder with this than they really needed to. But it's still pretty cool that they you know, gave us 3DS game card cases, because I believe around this time these weren't that common. This came out in 2011, you know, the year the 3DS launched, so, you know, it was kind of really cool to be able to actually get 3DS game card cases, because we couldn't use our DS game card cases because DS games don't have this stupid little skin tag. And back in the day, I kind of went in and out of using it. You know, I didn't really take my 3DS many places, so I'd kind of put a couple of the game cards that I was currently using and throw this next to like my bed on like my nightstand and whatnot, just in case I'm like, oh man, I'm in the mood for Asphalt 3D. But happy to own these. Much like the Wii Remote holders, though, I got 2 of them. I don't know. Like I'm only using 1 of these, so it's just like, in fact, I got 2. Yeah, you know, why not? So in contrast, this is the exact opposite of practical. This has literally absolutely no use. But yeah, this is a collection of cards based on all of the previous Nintendo handhelds up to that point. It's basically just like a history of handheld systems little card set, where you get all these in this little folio kind of thing. And yeah, they're just these, you know, cards featuring all of Nintendo's handhelds up to that point. And yeah, each of them have, you know, an illustrated design of said Nintendo handheld system. So we have the Game & Watch, but this one specifically is Game & Watch Ball. Sure. I mean, Game & Watch is a line of systems, of handheld systems from Nintendo, but I believe they went with Ball because we'll see later on that they, you know, released a re-release of Game & Watch Ball through Club Nintendo, which I do own. But yeah, they just picked this one to kind of, you know, cover the entire Game & Watch line. But they have a great little description here describing the handheld, the year it came out, little Club Nintendo logo. And then we have the original Game Boy with another little description, pretty short overall. And Game Boy Pocket, and it's really cool. They actually have a bunch of different color variations. Of course, they're not going through all of them because the original Game Boy still had like a couple, but yeah, Game Boy Pocket was at least much more well known for its variety of colors. So there we have that, and then the Game Boy Color. Again, color variations, design. This is just really cool and really nice. I always really liked this just because, like, it's just so unique. And, yeah, you know, it's pretty simple. But I always found it to just be cool to own. It's hard to describe. And, you know, like, hey, you know, what use are you going to get out of these other than just kind of looking at them once? But believe me, I probably looked at them 3 times. But, yeah, really great little collection of cards here that goes through Nintendo's handheld history. This is the kind of stuff I would have loved to see them do a little bit more, just because, hey, you know, this is fairly simple to put together. Of course, it's a slightly more detailed project, but I still feel like it's probably, you know, one of the simpler things Club Nintendo could have produced. You know, it's just a folder of cards, so I would have loved to see more stuff like this on Club Nintendo in North America. This right here is one of the last Club Nintendo rewards offered. This was kind of offered as a peace offering, if you will, when Club Nintendo was announced to be being discontinued. Nintendo said, like, hey, you know, like, we're gonna be discontinuing the Club Nintendo program, and when they did that, they actually offered a lot more stuff. They brought in a lot more digital games, including like digital games that were originally exclusive to Club Nintendo. Stuff like Doc Lewis's Punch-Out was like a WiiWare game that you could only get through Club Nintendo, and it was a year-end reward. If you met a certain threshold of coins that you built up that year, you'd be then labeled as like a gold or platinum member. And you know, if you were a platinum member, you'd get a choice of like a free reward, and one of the rewards was Doc Lewis's Punch-Out. And later on, when Club Nintendo was being discontinued, they actually offered that again for all members to you know, redeem with their coins. And around this time, Nintendo kind of pushed a couple more little physical prizes out, and one of them was this Majora's Mask 3D jigsaw puzzle. And I never opened this yet. I can, you know, take a look at it in here. And yeah, that's a damn puzzle. I was always a bit disappointed by this, mainly because, you know, what do you think? I've seen cheese with better packaging. This is so flimsy, just so easy to just, like, you know, just crumple up, throw away. I really wish this came in an actual box, but to be fair, I mean, like, this did come out, like, you know, like 3 months before the program was ending. This was kind of just one final hurrah. Nintendo didn't need to do this, so it's just like, yeah, sure. But yeah, Majora's Mask 3D puzzle, one of the last major things Club Nintendo offered. But one of the coolest things Club Nintendo offered was, like, exclusive physical games. This was one of two that released here in North America. It's the Game & Watch Collection, Club Nintendo exclusive. And what this is, you know, a physical DS game that you could only get through Club Nintendo. And yeah, it's a collection of Game & Watch games. Specifically Game & Watch games that use the dual screen format. The dual screen format of the DS was inspired by these old school Game & Watch units that had 2 screens. Unfortunately though, because this was a Club Nintendo exclusive, this is like an extremely simple release. Of course, like, they're Game & Watch games, like, duh. But Nintendo's put a lot of effort into previous Game & Watch releases. Back on the Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, they had the Game & Watch Gallery series, which included a couple of Game & Watch games, roughly, you know, like a little more than what they have here, which is only 3. But they would also remake them in the form of like a modern Mario-esque spin on the original Game & Watch games. And it was really cool, and they'd had a couple other features here and there. Of course, at their core, you know, the games were still about, you know, preserving high score based Game & Watch games, so, you know, it's not like the most in-depth thing, but definitely way more than this. 2 major things made this cool. It was the fact that, hey, you could play these dual screen Game & Watch games on a dual screen device, and the fact that it was a Club Nintendo exclusive. Outside of that, this is a very light release. It's cool that it happened. I bought it. I got suckered into the idea of owning like a Club Nintendo exclusive DS game. Like, come on, who wouldn't? But after I got it, you know, I thought it was really cool to own something that not many other people did. But, you know, I didn't really play it much after that. The only reason why I kind of pop it in is kind of to just, you know, get that ego boost of owning something not many people did. So while I liked this release for the novelty alone, you know, just getting it and playing it definitely kind of made me steer clear of Game & Watch Collection 2, which also released via Club Nintendo, and it was pretty much the exact same thing, where it was just, yep, a couple more Game & Watch games. But this is something that I own that was exclusive to Japan, Club Nintendo, and it's Tingles Balloon Fight DS. This is pretty much a reskin of the original Balloon Fight on NES, but with Tingle from The Legend of Zelda. And that's pretty much all it is, you know, it works on the DS, and yeah, it's Balloon Fight. Because it's so simple, it's such a basic game, that's why it's exclusive to Club Nintendo. It's a very small little release, but cool in its own right. But that's the problem with a lot of these Club Nintendo exclusive games. Like, they're kind of only cool because you can only get them through Club Nintendo. But because you can only get them through Club Nintendo, there's no real incentive by the developers to make something, you know, grander than what this is, which is just a very simple little joke of a game kind of thing. Which is why just standard merchandise is what Nintendo did best. And that includes soundtrack CDs. This was a platinum reward that I got. You know, I got enough coins at the end of the year to get this for free. It's the Majora's Mask soundtrack. Strangely enough, I believe this was offered before Majora's Mask 3D was even a thing. Before it was even released, before it was even announced, yeah, they released this, which I think kind of led even more so to the constant rumors that Nintendo was going to remake Majora's Mask, just like they did with Ocarina of Time 3D. I believe this was like in 2013 when this released, so about a year before Majora's Mask 3D released. So I think they knew what they were doing with this. But yeah, I never opened this one. I just never really felt the need to, mainly because, you know, for a lot of soundtrack CDs, it's just like, well, I can just, you know, go on YouTube. This is more so just to own something cool from Club Nintendo, not necessarily to, you know, consume the content. This right here, though, I definitely consumed because this was a, I guess like a pre-order bonus or a purchase bonus. This was for people who bought both the 3DS and Wii U versions of Super Smash Bros. In 2014. And yeah, you'd get a 2-disc soundtrack, you know, the red disc, which is music that was featured in Super Smash Bros. For 3DS, and the blue CD, which is Wii U music. Even though pretty much, if not all of the tracks in the red version were in the Wii U one, you know, either way, a cool 2-disc set, and also has a nice inner booklet here. A little message from Sakurai himself, and you know, the track listing here. Really cool bonus for getting both of the games. In addition to, if you bought both of the games, you actually got the DLC character Mewtwo for free. So you know, they definitely made us feel you know, like we truly mattered. You know, so it's just like, oh man, if my entire life existence was to buy both Super Smash Bros. For 3DS and Wii U, you know, they got me covered. But here's a CD I actually recently got that was a Club Nintendo of Japan reward. It is the Touch Generation soundtrack, which is a collection of a bunch of music from Touch Generations games, the more casual titles you'd find on Wii and DS. So just looking at this, you know, I'm seeing Wii Sports, Peter Piper Syndrome, you know, diagnose me with that. We got Nintendogs, Wii Fit. That's probably the Me channel music, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, just a collection of music from Touch Generations titles. It's interesting that they classified all of these under the same kind of brand, Touch Generations, because over here in North America, Touch Generations seem to be more so like a marketing just classification for a lot of these games. You know, they were just like, throw the Touch Generations logo on that game's box art. But in Japan, I feel like they were a lot more picky on what constituted as a Touch Generations game. So much so that they put a bunch of music from the games in one soundtrack CD. I'm gonna keep the good times rolling with the Japanese rewards. This is one that I think everybody wanted over in North America. This is a Wii Classic Controller in the style of a Super Famicom controller. So yeah, the Wii Classic Controller, you'd use that for virtual console games, and it was pretty much the same as a Super Nintendo controller, but you know, it was ever so slightly different. The layout was very similar, but you know, it's still its own controller. But in Japan, for Club Nintendo, Nintendo released a Classic Controller that was literally the exact same goddamn thing. And the packaging is fantastic. There was more of like, you know, a plastic container for this to kind of, you know, sit in. You know, there'd be like an overlay to kind of keep it from, you know, falling out of the box. But this is the box, and on the back is this beautiful illustration in the style of the Super Famicom box and just accessories back in the day. Now, this is incredible. And this as an accessory is one of the most useful things, at least back in the day. It was so cool to have this modern recreation of the Super Famicom controller, and it shows that, you know, Nintendo still has like these molds and design coordinates to keep making these controllers till the end of time. You know, we saw this with the NES Classic Edition controller, the GameCube controller being re-released for Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and of course the Super Nintendo Classic Edition, which that's kind of the main thing that kind of keeps this from being all too relevant these days. I would recommend, hey, run out and pick one of these up if you're still playing a lot of games on the original Wii. But the problem is the Super NES Classic Edition, you know, has these controllers with this exact plug. So they do the exact same thing this controller did back in the day. Or also, you could just get a Super Famicom Classic Edition, you know, from Japan, and those controllers will work on your Wii, plus you'll get a Super Famicom Classic Edition alongside it. So, you know, this one, if it's cheap, makes sense, but if it's not, you know, like, it's not necessary at all. But back in the Wii days, this was one of the coolest things you could possibly get. Play virtual console games on your Wii with an actual Super Famicom controller. And at that point, turn your damn TV on with a Wii Remote. This is a reward from Club Nintendo Japan, which is a universal TV remote that looks like a Wii Remote. Yeah, so opening this guy up, it is, it literally feels exactly like a Wii Remote, but we can see, you know, plus, minus, you know, obviously that would be maybe channel surfing or volume control. And we have just like these different labels for buttons here. And yeah, this isn't gonna work as a regular Wii Remote. They even put a little plastic piece where the nunchuck could connect to, because this is supposed to be a TV remote. And it's pretty cool to get this, you know, like it's very novel. It's a TV remote that's like a Wii Remote, that's all it is. And I thought it was always kind of quirky and fun. Next up is something I bought on eBay after the fact. I never got a chance to pick this up. This is the 2011 reward for Platinum members. It's a pin set. And yeah, I remember a lot of people saying this was kind of lame. You know, it's just a pin set of various 8-bit Super Mario Bros. Sprites. And yeah, when we take it out of the plastic case, that's when we can access all of these pins. I never actually took these out of the cardboard container. Let me see. Ooh, yeah, so it's just pins. It's just pins. Oh, and they have little labels, you know, what they're supposed to be. So we have Luigi, Hammer Bro, Koopa Troopa, Spiny. This is a very well put together little set, though obviously with it being a pin set, you know, that doesn't appeal to everybody. So I understand why some people were just kind of like, about it. Might be a little weird to display. It's something where like might not be everybody's cup of tea, or you might not have a specific way to display it. But something else that I noticed is, yeah, you can actually flip these things in different directions, and you'll get different sprite art. So I'm seeing potentially a bit of a Goomba there for this one. Well, I am not doing this right, but I assume this is the mushroom. But yeah, just a really cool little thing. You know, it might be a little lame when it comes to you know, like, oh man, the big platinum reward for the year. But overall, I think it's still pretty damn cool. This right here is one that I've talked about a couple times before. It is the golden Wii Wheel. You know, a Mario Kart Wii Wheel that is completely golden here. Yeah, this is pretty damn rad. And it's not that expensive overall on eBay, which is really cool. It's not like crazy cheap, but like for like 50 bucks or something for a damn gold Wii Wheel, I don't actually know if it's 50 bucks, but last time I checked, I thought it was like $50 or so. But yeah, it's just it's just a Wii Wheel. They also give you a little cardboard stand that you can use to kind of just display it, to brag. But yeah, really damn cool. But here in North America, we got the golden nunchuck. And that's all we really got, which is still, you know, cool. But that didn't even come with like specific packaging. In Japan, they gave it like actual packaging, which is amazing. The Luigi controller. So this is part of a line of various different Mario-themed controllers for the GameCube. This is a GameCube controller. So yeah, Club Nintendo is pretty old when it comes to in Japan specifically, because you know, this is a Club Nintendo reward for the original GameCube. And Yeah, I'm sad to say I do actually use this controller. I know, like, for such an expensive controller or such a rare controller, like, how could you use it? It's controllers are supposed to be used, man. I don't know. It was already technically like used. It was just in the box, so like, why bother not using it? You know, just be careful with it. That's my motto. But yeah, it's a GameCube controller, but it's themed after Luigi. You have green and then purple back. Not really themed outside of that, just kind of cool. The, you know, and cable is green. Yeah, great. But they also had a Mario one and a Wario one. And yeah, this is a really nice little collectible. The box definitely is one of the cooler collectibles just because, you know, they have denim on the sides. But I would say the Mario-themed Wii remotes that Nintendo later released, those weren't Club Nintendo themed, but they followed a very similar design aesthetic where you have the emblem on the hats, you know, Mario, Luigi. You know, the top is red for Mario and the bottom is blue for his overalls, and the top of the Luigi one is green and bottom purple. But they definitely color coordinated those a lot better. You know, the actual buttons are more themed to the characters themselves, where, you know, the plus and minus buttons on the Wii Remote are yellow to be like the overall buttons, which I think is way cooler. This one is just kind of a neat looking little GameCube controller with, you know, some Luigi colors, and that's it, but still cool. Oh, baby. This is probably the best reward we ever got in North America. A full recreation of the original Game & Watch unit ball. Yeah, this is honestly absolutely incredible. They treat it just like an actual Game & Watch. You know, going as far as say, hey, this is the 2011 reissue. It's not like a remake or anything like that. It's genuinely a reissue. This is pretty damn authentic. And yeah, it's a really great little device. I think this does a great job at showing just how cool those little Game & Watches were. But I would have loved to see them do the dual screen releases or some of the more unique ones. Like there were like these crystal screen Game & Watches with like transparent screens. There was like the arcade tabletop looking ones. I really wish Nintendo would kind of like do more with the Game & Watch line. And they eventually did, you know, with the Super Mario Brothers Game & Watch and the Legend of Zelda Game & Watch. And those throwbacks to the Game & Watch line started with this little special edition re-release, Game & Watch Ball. I would say the best thing we got on North American Club Nintendo. Now, this is gonna be hard to show, but these were one of my platinum rewards one year. The only major thing that they released were posters. Outside of these, like, they didn't really do anything else that I was super interested in. I thought the posters made the most sense. And yeah, I got this Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon poster, a Skyward Sword poster, and a Kid Icarus Uprising poster. I never used them. I was never a big poster guy, but these were really damn nice posters. They were so colorful. They had such great print quality. That's one thing Club Nintendo always did pretty good. Like, their poster quality was quite excellent. But it kind of bums me out that I never got a chance to really put them up. You know, I may someday. I'm trying to make a bit of like an office space for me at my house. So maybe I'll put up some nice little posters, especially these, because, you know, these were ones that I always had, but I never did anything with. But that was pretty much it for me outside of the digital games that I would get, or like the digital rewards, whatever. Of course, there was like Grill Off with Ultra Hand. That doesn't really count as a reward. That's more so like just a fucking bribe. And I can't really remember a ton of my digital rewards off the top of my head. But might as well end this off with something incredible. This is my golden goose of a collectible. This is something that I've always wanted, and I've had it for the past year and a half, 2 years or so, and I'm so damn happy about it. This is the 20th anniversary Famicom mini GBA sets they released via Club Nintendo. Pretty much if you got all of the Famicom mini lines of Game Boy Advance games in Japan. Over here, we got them as classic NES series games. So a bunch of Famicom games re-released as Game Boy Advance cartridges. If you registered all of them on Club Nintendo, you would get these box sets. And I own all 3 of them. There's 3 volumes, and they're these amazing, beautiful books with these sleeves featuring all the different sprites from all the different Famicom games included in that book set. And you open up the book, and all of the GBA games lie in this fantastic foam. It is beautiful, and there's this plaque there too. If that doesn't tell you how good Japan Club Nintendo was, maybe the fact we got f***ing folders in North America will.